Guys, good afternoon. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you today. In case you're wondering, the day, well, it's Monday and it is July 28th. It is the very last Monday of July for 2025. We have to wait till next year to get another Monday in July. All right, great to be with everyone here. The master topic for the week, in case you're wondering, well, that is the power of connection. The power of connection is very, very strong. And the granular topic for this afternoon or today is intellectual connection. Minds that spark together, well, they thrive together. If this is your very first time on the Inspirations for Your Life show, big welcome out to you. If you're coming back, well, a super welcome out to you as well. If you have not, friends, checked out believemeachieve.com. Do that after the show, and you can do it 24 hours a day for some of my latest amazing creations, which I know you're not going to want to miss. All right, guys. So let's get this show kicked off. But before I do, I've got my RO water here, which is delicious. But feel free to go get yourself maybe a candy, maybe a snack, some fruit, or whatever else you want. And come on back. It could be healthy or not. That's up to you. My RO water's here. Really, really good. All right, let's kick this show off here, guys. So again, I do want to extend a very warm welcome to our new guests as well as those that are returning. And welcome again to the Inspirations for Your Life podcast. I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast coach, also a video producer, graduate student, and much more. And a champion of personal transformations. In today's episode, I'm diving deep, yes I am, into the magic that happens when two minds truly connect, kind of like the yin and the yang, in a world filled with noise, shallow chatter, and endless distractions. It's the intellectual spark, the deeper curiosity, shared thought, and mutual growth that creates the most lasting and profound relationships that are possible. And I think that's something that is, pretty amazing, and it's hard for some people, to understand that. But whether you're looking to enrich your friendships, elevate your romantic relationships, or simply crave more meaningful conversations, this episode is just for you. So grab your earbuds and let's explore how minds that spark together, well, how they'll thrive together. All right, everyone, welcome. So number one is shared curiosity builds stronger bonds. When two people are curious about the world and each other, well, the connection becomes a lot stronger and richer. Curiosity isn't just a trait, it's a bridge. When both individuals are willing to explore new ideas, ask meaningful questions, and embrace each other's passions, well, their bond becomes deeply rooted in mutual discovery. Number two, smart is sexy, especially in conversation. There is something undeniably attractive about someone who can engage in things intellectually. A sharp mind paired with the ability, to express ideas clearly and passionately, it ignites a different kind of spark, one that's built on admiration, intrigue, and respect. Number three, deep talks beat small talks every time. Surface level chatter fades fast, but conversations that dive into fears, our dreams, and lifelong's big questions stick with us. Deep talks create intimacy by exposing vulnerability and values. Two things small talk never touches. The two V's, vulnerability and values. And I think that happens because they're so shallow, right? I mean, that's got to be the reason. Number four, minds that challenge grow together. Growth doesn't happen in solo chambers. The most fulfilling relationships include gentle pushback, respectful debate, and thoughtful, provoking questions. Challenging each other respectfully helps people, well, build, expand, and evolve. Um, Intellectual vibes create emotional ties. Number 5. Our brains and our hearts are more connected than we are even aware of. A stimulating conversation can evoke strong emotional reactions, from laughter and joy to awe and even love. Intellectual compatibility often lays the groundwork for emotional intimacy. I bet you didn't know that. But that's the key, guys. Number 6, thoughtful dialogue equals a meaningful connection. Real connection happens when people feel seen, heard, and valued. Thoughtful dialogue, the kind where each person listens actively and responds intentionally, creates a safe space where trust and connection can definitely flourish. Number 7, guys, learning together deepens respect. There's power in co learning, whether you start studying a subject, attending a seminar, or reading a book together. The act of learning side by side fosters mutual respect and admiration for each other's growth journey. That's key, guys. Number 8, brain power sparks lasting attraction. Physical chemistry fades, but mental stimulation keeps the flame alive. A partner who challenges your ideas and expands your mind will continue to captivate you long after the honeymoon phase has gone and left. Number 9, curiosity keeps connection alive. The more you remain curious about someone, their evolving dreams, their ideas, and quirks, the more dynamic your relationship becomes. Curiosity prevents stagnation and reminds you there's always something new to learn about each other. So why not keep learning? Number 10, mental chemistry drives long term compatibility. While shared values and goals are important, long term harmony often hinges on how your mind works together. Mental chemistry ensures your conversations flow, your ideas align, and your problem solving styles complement one another. That is very key, guys. Number 11, growth minded people inspire each other. When both individuals have a growth mindset, their relationship becomes, well, a source of inspiration. They motivate each other to pursue new goals, take risks, and become better versions of themselves. Number 12, passion for ideas fuel intimacy. Intellectual intimacy isn't about having all the answers, it's about the shared thrill of exploration. When you're both passionate about ideas, theories, and dreams, the connection becomes, well, in a word, very electric and deeply intimate. Number 13, deep thinkers crave deep connections. People who think deeply also tend to feel deeply. They don't settle for shallow interactions. They long for conversations that stir their soul. Deep thinkers thrive in relationships where they can express their inner world without any kind of judgment. Number 14, smart conversations open hearts. When someone speaks with wisdom, clarity, and vulnerability, it opens emotional doors. Smart conversations lead to greater empathy, understanding, and a desire to be closer emotionally and, of course, mentally. Number 15, thriving minds build, well, thriving relationships. A relationship between two intellectually thriving individuals becomes a powerhouse of creativity, support, and purpose. They collaborate, dream big, they solve problems, and they lift each other up. You see, I think this is something that a lot of people don't get in our world. Everyone in the world wants to grow. But if you notice, the ones that aren't going anywhere are always trying to kill other people's dreams. And I think that's just very bad. It's disrespectful. But you know what also happens when you do that? You take away the wind from your own sails. That's powerful, guys. So this is the part of the show that I really like. Well, I like the whole show, but I love this part because I get to share my personal stories and lessons. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you a basically a personal story or lesson for each point, and it's my goal and hope that by doing this, you're going to transform. You're going to get an aha moment, that epiphany. You're going to see that this is real life. We call it IRL, in real life. That's the acronym for it, IRL, in real life. Sometimes I think people live in this fantasy world where they don't respect people's feelings, their minds, their beliefs, right? Their opinions. And I've said before, we don't always have to agree with somebody, but what we can do when we don't agree, because there's going to be times we don't agree, right? All we need to do is agree to disagree. That's it. So when I don't like something, I say, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a gentleman's comment here, which is to agree to disagree. And people are going to be like blown out of the water. I'm agreeing what your point is, but I'm also saying that I disagree with it, but I respect your point. And I think those are things that a lot of people, I don't know, I think they get flustered when somebody says, you know what, I can agree to disagree. Like, huh? How do I agree to disagree? It basically means that what you're saying, I may not agree with what you're saying, but I agree um, and understand what you've said, right? I don't agree with it, but I just acknowledge it. It's basically what it is. I agree to disagree. It's a very weird thing, but I want to tell you that having that respect for someone is going to get you to go like so far. I mean, really, really, really far. So let's start out with point number one, guys. Shared curiosity builds stronger bonds. Years ago, I met someone at a tech conference. We ended up talking not just about software, but quantum physics of all things, right? AI ethics, and even ancient history. That weekend turned into a regular, well, meeting because we were both genuinely curious, not just about the world, but about each other's thoughts and passions. And we built a great friendship. What started as a chance encounter quickly deepened into a powerful friendship rooted in mutual discovery. You never know what you're going to get, guys. So why not embrace it? You might just unlock something you didn't know existed. This experience taught me that shared curiosity isn't just about having similar interests, it's about being open minded and engaged. Every time we have explored or do explore a new topic together, it feels like building a bridge, one insight at a time. It was less about answers and more about enjoying the journey of asking the right questions together. When I say smart is sexy, especially in conversation in college, the first time, I'm back in college now as a grad. I once went on a date where we spent 2 hours dissecting the Dice the brothers Karamazov over coffee. And there was a moment when this person basically passionately explained Ivan's internal conflict. And I just sat there, totally captivated, not by looks, but by the brilliance. See that spark in the person's eyes um, when I heard a philosophical thought really got me to light up. That was interesting. That experience changed how I view connection. It's not about showing off how much you know, but about engaging someone in a way that excites their intellect. When someone makes you think differently or challenges you to see the world through their lens, it adds a deeper layer to attraction. Deep talks beat small talk every single time. At a networking event a while back, I met someone who bypassed the usual what do you do questions and asked, what's something you used to believe but don't anymore? Another person asked me a really good question. Why do you get up every day? What makes you get out of bed every day? That conversation also stuck with me for months. And we ended up discussing fear, faith, and failure. And somehow it felt like I'd known them forever. I realized then that small talks keep relationships at the surface. Deep talks, thorough. That's where the real connection happens. It's in those late night, hard on sleeve moments where trust is built and true intimacy is formed. And a lot of people don't want to go there. You know why? Because they're afraid of being vulnerable. But when we are vulnerable, when we are a little bit uncomfortable, we start to grow, right? Nothing grows when we're comfortable. We have to be a little uncomfortable. Minds that challenge grow together. A close friend of mine and I have very different views on politics, yet we talk about it often. It's never about winning, it's about learning. We push each other, sometimes uncomfortably, but always respectfully. And you know what? I've grown from those debates than from any other book I've read. This taught me that growth isn't about agreement, folks. It's about engagement. The healthiest relationships invite challenge, not conformity. That friction, it sharpens you. It makes you stronger, wiser, and more open minded. Number five, intellectual vibes create emotional ties. I once shared a long car ride with someone I barely knew. We ended up diving into a conversation about the intersection of neuroscience and emotional memory. By the time we arrived, we weren't just intellectually connected, we bonded emotionally. It amazed me how the mind and the heart are so deeply intertwined that exchange wasn't just stimulating, it felt, well, comforting, intimate, and safe all in the same breath. Intellectual compatibility opens emotional doors in a way that no small gesture or surface level talk ever will. Thoughtful dialogue equals meaningful conversation. My mentor used to pause before answering any question that I asked, even the simple ones. I once asked, why? And he said, because I want to make sure what I say matters. That hit home and stuck with me. Conversations with him always felt intentional, never rushed, or definitely not shallow. Thoughtful dialogue, guys, equals the meaningful connection, and you can make that every single day. I think that's really important. There's power in great dialogue, not just what you say, but how you choose to listen, how you show up. When someone feels heard and valued, trust seems to just flourish like flowers, and connection becomes, well, inevitable. Learning together deepens respect. One of my friends and I decided to take a course on philosophy together just for fun. We studied, debated, and even wrote mock essays to each other. It wasn't about the course itself, but how we grew through it together. Learning together humbled us. We saw each other's strengths and vulnerabilities in a way no one else did. It brought out, well, something very unique, guys. I think that was the part that opened up my eyes, right? That it brought out something unique. And that just kind of like, I would say that humbled me, right? By doing that, by having that engagement together. That was a shared journey, and it made our bond unshakable. Brain power sparks lasting attraction. Some people call this, and there's a word for it. There's actually a formal word for it. And you probably didn't know about this word, but it's a pretty cool word. And I'll share it with you. And it is called sapiosexual. It's a term used to describe someone who finds intelligence to be most sexually attractive in the quality for the person. It's not about a specific gender or sexual identity, but rather an attraction to someone's mind and intellectual capabilities. That's mind blowing. Over time, I've learned that while stimulation only deepens with this, being mentally energized by someone, that's what keeps the flame alive long after the novelty wears off. Curiosity keeps connection alive, folks. After a decade or more of knowing my best friend, I thought I knew everything. Yeah, I thought I knew everything. But what I found out is I didn't really know. I did not really know. And this really opened me up in a very unique kind of way. Then one night, he casually mentioned a childhood dream to be an astronomer, and something I'd never heard before. We ended up talking about space dreams and regrets until 2 a.m. That moment reminded me people are never finished. They're constantly evolving, like Disney World, right? Their evolving story of their life. Stay curious, and you'll keep discovering new chapters in someone's book, even if you've been reading it for years. As I said, we get attracted to people not by what they know, but by the questions they ask us. That's important. Mental chemistry drives long term compatibility. I once dated someone who looked great on paper. We liked the same music, movies, and even vacation spots. But when it came to ideas, there was a complete disconnect. We'd run out of things to say, not for lack of interest, but because, well, our minds didn't really click. They weren't in, how can I say, perfect alignment. That relationship taught me that compatibility isn't just about hobbies, it's about how your minds dance together. When you can finish each other's thoughts, challenge each other's assumptions, and dream together, that's when the real magic starts and happens. But we can't force this with somebody when it's not natural. Growth minded people inspire each other. One person I knew and I had a shared goal, but it was our shared mindset that kept us moving toward it. When one of us stumbled, the other reminded them what they were capable of. We pushed each other to go to workshops, read more, and of course, guys, reflect deeper. And I think those are things that a lot of people, I don't know, for whatever reason, I just think they don't do them. Is it that they're lazy? No. I think the reason they don't do them could be, well, it could be out of fear. And so we pushed each other on and on. Being around someone who's hungry to grow is contagious. It pulls you out of your comfort zone and into your potential. And that's why, guys, that is why. And I want to leave it there for a moment because if we ponder that thought, that's what real inspiration looks like. It's not competition, but it's mutual elevation. Passion for ideas fuels intimacy, right? I once dated someone who could go from talking about quantum mechanics to poetry in the same breath. Our conversations felt like, well, jazz, unpredictable, passionate, and alive. Every idea became, well, an adventure. Have you ever read one of those books, where you're not supposed to read it from the whole thing? You're supposed to stop. Those are very powerful things. Every idea became an adventure, just like that book. That intellectual spark didn't just stimulate my mind, it deepened our emotional bond, sharing a love for exploration, for diving into concepts, just because they fascinate us, made everything feel more intimate and alive. Deep thinkers crave deep connections. As a deep thinker myself, I've often struggled in rooms filled with surface level talk. Like, what do you do for a living? That's just so like basic. But then I met someone who asked me, what scares you the most about being yourself? Or why do you get up every day? What makes you crave to get out of bed every morning? And that's one question there that cracked me open. I realized I didn't need more people. I needed more depth in the people that I had. Deep thinkers don't thrive in large crowds. They thrive in the quiet confines, meaningful spaces where the soul can speak. And when they find someone who listens, the way the connection can become unforgettable. That's a very, very powerful thing, guys. Very, very powerful thing. Smart conversations will always open hearts. I once shared a train ride with a stranger who started talking about the philosophy of suffering. We laughed, we cried, and we parted ways, having never exchanged names. But I'll never forget that ride. It was very weird and bizarre. It showed me that intelligent conversations aren't about showing off, they're about showing up with empathy, with vulnerability, and presence. When you speak from both the head and the heart, you create a space where others feel, well, safe to open up theirs too. Thriving minds, guys, build thriving relationships. I know a couple, both entrepreneurs, who say their best dates are brainstorming sessions. They dream together, plan together, and even solve business challenges like it's foreplay. Their energy is, well, completely electric. Watching them taught me that when both people are thriving intellectually, the relationship became a launch pad, not a landing zone. It's not just about support, it's about collaboration. Guys, I really enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope to see you on another show real soon. BelieveMeAchieve.com.